Emma had a flair for drama. That's one thing I noticed about her from the start. She loved the spotlight, whether it was in a crowded bar, at a party, or even when we were just having dinner with friends. She knew how to make heads turn and conversations stir. For the most part, I didn't mind. I thought it was just her charm, something I could laugh about, something that added a spark to our relationship. But over time, her habit of needing attention became something else entirely. One night, it boiled over. We were sitting in my apartment after a tense dinner out with friends. The conversation at the restaurant had turned sour when Emma had gone on about how men just don't know how to handle women like me. I'd stayed quiet, not wanting to argue in front of others, but she noticed. When we got home, she was itching for a fight. "You didn't defend me tonight," she said, dropping her coat dramatically onto the couch. "You just sat there like some silent shadow. Do you even care what people think of me?" I exhaled slowly. "Emma, not everything has to be a show. Sometimes it's better to let things slide." She smirked, that sharp, taunting smile she often used when she thought she had me cornered. "Oh, please. Don't act like you're above all this. You're just insecure. I can walk away, you know. Boys are begging for me." Her words hung in the air like a blade. She said them casually, but her eyes were locked on mine, waiting for panic, waiting for me to flinch, beg, or scramble to prove my worth. That was her game. Instead, I just stared back. Calm. Silent. She blinked, surprised that I didn't react the way she expected. "Did you hear me?" she pressed, crossing her arms. "I said I can walk away." "I heard you," I said quietly, standing up and moving toward the kitchen. She followed, heels clicking against the hardwood floor. "So that's it? You're not even going to say anything? Not going to beg me to stay? God, you're pathetic." I turned then, leaning against the counter, my arms folded. "Emma, if boys are begging for you, then maybe you should go see what they're really offering. Because I'm not in the business of begging." Her face twisted with disbelief. This wasn't the script she had prepared. Usually, I played along. I tried to calm her ego, to make her feel secure, to assure her that she was the only one I wanted. But tonight? Something inside me had snapped. "You can't be serious," she said, laughing without humor. "You're really just going to let me go? After everything?" "Emma," I said evenly, "you're the one threatening to walk away. I'm not holding you hostage. If you want to leave, then leave. But don't expect me to grovel for someone who treats love like a competition." She stared at me as though I'd just spoken a foreign language. For once, she had no clever comeback. Silence stretched between us, heavy and uncomfortable. I could almost see the gears turning in her head as she tried to figure out why I wasn't chasing her. Finally, she scoffed, flipping her hair over her shoulder. "Fine. Maybe I will walk. You'll regret this when you see me with someone better." I nodded. "Maybe I will. Or maybe I'll finally breathe again." That hit harder than she let on. Her lips parted, and for a second, I saw the crack in her confidence. She turned away quickly, grabbing her bag from the couch, muttering under her breath. I didn't stop her. I didn't plead. I didn't ask her to think twice. I simply opened the door and held it, watching as she walked out into the night. When the door closed behind her, I expected a wave of regret to crush me. But instead, I felt lighter. The next few days were quiet. No late-night texts, no constant calls demanding attention, no guilt-tripping messages disguised as jokes. My phone stayed silent, and for the first time in months, I realized how much peace I'd been missing. On the 4th day, she called. I let it go to voicemail. On the 5th, she showed up at my apartment. I didn't open the door. By the 6th, my friends were texting me, telling me they'd seen Emma out with another guy, laughing loudly, putting on the same performance she always did. They asked if I was okay. I told them the truth. I was more than okay. It wasn't until 2 weeks later that Emma cornered me outside the coffee shop I always went to. She looked put together, but her eyes gave her away. There was a desperation behind the eyeliner and practiced smile. "Hey," she said softly, as if the last fight had never happened. "Can we talk?" I sipped my coffee, calm as ever. "What's there to talk about?" She shifted, biting her lip. I miss you." I didn't mean what I said. "You know how I get when I'm angry. I just wanted to see if you cared." I studied her, the way she fidgeted with her bag, the way her voice cracked slightly. Once, I would have melted. Once, I would have taken her back just to feel that rush of being wanted. But not anymore. "Emma," I said, my voice steady, "you wanted me to panic. You wanted me to beg. But love isn't begging. Love isn't holding someone hostage with threats. And I think you know that deep down." Her eyes filled with tears. She tried to blink away. "So that's it? You're just going to let me go?" This time, I smiled faintly. "You let yourself go the moment you thought I wasn't enough." I left her standing there, clutching her coffee cup like it could hold her together. For the first time in our relationship, I wasn't the one left scrambling for balance. She was. And as I walked away, I realized something important: sometimes the strongest thing you can do is nothing at all. No begging, no pleading, no clinging to someone who doesn't see your worth. Just silence, and the quiet power of moving on. Emma expected me to panic. Instead, I found my freedom.